Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Channel. Happy Wednesday morning. Hope you're well. Hope you are looking forward to a good day and you're setting in for obviously a big night tomorrow night at home to West Ham. So we're talking about the game of the London derby and give you some sort of stats and figures and sort of just a general feel about how the game might play out. There's some interesting absentees obviously from the game, not only for us but also for them, and kind of reviewing what other sort of reports have sort of predicted lineups and things like that, and we'll talk about that. So yeah, hope you're well, hope you look after yourself, and if you are new, drop us a little subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's jump in. So Spurs West Ham, obviously London derby. It's always quite a fiery game. I think that's fair to say. I think it's like most derbies, to be fair. That's nothing really impressive to say or imaginative to say. I know, but Spurs West Ham has just a bit of a weird feel to it. When you think of like Arsenal Spurs, okay, that's very, very much a one is close to the other kind of rivalry. Chelsea Spurs becomes a bit more of a blood rivalry. There seems to be a certain level of disdain for one another that you don't maybe see as much from other derbies. With West Ham, it's a weird one because, and I'll be fair, because I think West Ham's trajectory over the last few years has been really good. West Ham for a little while weren't that great, and they tried to make it a big deal. They tried to make it this amazing derby, and I think as we were doing really well, West Ham maybe weren't as much, and it was a bit like, But as time's gone on, obviously they've won a European trophy. We haven't. Fair play to them on that front. They've built a solid squad. I think actually selling Rice was a good thing for them too. You think of some of the players they've brought in now, and when I go through their predicted team, you actually see a few of the names they bought with that money, and I think they're a better team for it. They actually played better football for it as well, which is quite an ironic thing. But the rivalry has gotten better over the last few years. I would say that's for sure. And when we looked at head-to-head, maybe it doesn't look like that. But, results on a page can look deceiving to the games that you've seen. I think that's fair. I mean, in the last 5 matches, Spurs have won 3. They've drawn 1 and lost 1. And the loss was the friendly in the summer, 3-2. Okay, so before that, we played 3 times in the Prem, winning 2, drawing 1, and then we won in the EFL Cup of December 22nd, 2021, which I was at that game. It was a lovely game. So, yes, that looks a bit deceiving in my eyes. The West Ham have always been a problem side to play against. I think in a system that we'll see with Ange Postecoglou, we'll probably see a West Ham team that we would probably see against a bigger team, that they're going to dig in. They're going to be very, very robust. They're not going to give away anything cheap. You're going to have to work for everything you want. Any chances that you're going to create, you're going to have to work hard to create them. Because they've got a very solid team. So we'll talk about some team news of West Ham. So they said that Kurt Zouma should return to the lineup after missing Sunday's game against Crystal Palace with a family issue. The only injury absentee is Michael, whatever we want to call him, Mr. Antonio, we'll call him, who's out of action with a knee issue. Jarrod Bowen would likely lead the line for the visitors, although the exciting youngster Divin Mubama, sorry, that's a good name, I like it. It's another option for David Moyes. Look, so this was from 90 Minute, and they sort of predicted they'd have Areola in goal, Kufal, Zouma, Aguerd, Emerson at the back, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Souček in the midfield, and then Kudus, Paqueta and Bowen leading the line. I mean, that front three is pretty solid. It's that thing that it's like, if that was the front three, but actually if that was the three just behind a really solid striker, that's a really good attack, and it is. I think Ward-Prowse has been magnificent this year for them. Really, really do. I mean, they got value for money from him as well. I think it was like 25 million, which I talk about in other 25 million is a lot of money, by the way. Can I just specify? It's a lot of money. But when it comes to football transfers, that a few years ago was probably about 12.5 million. So that's value for money. And he's been amazing. And by the way, how he doesn't go into the England squad, I don't know. And based off his form, yeah, it's a bit difficult that we play. Well, in the Southgate midfield, you should be playing Rice as the midfielder, Bellingham and Maddison, because the system that he wants to play Southgate, he does a knockoff version of basically any real good team because he does a really poor job of it. He doesn't even put Ward-Prowse in the squad. He puts Henderson and Phillips ahead of him. Make of that what you will. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Alvarez, I really like the signing from the Eredivisie, Ajax. It was a big signing. I think it was like 40 odd million. But he's a good player. When I've watched him play, I'm like, yeah, you can tell he's not always physical, but he just knows how to use his body in a way that you'll go, you've walked past him kind of thing. No, he's nipped the ball back off you because he's a quite nippy, quite agile defensive midfielder. Kudus was one that people thought he was going to go to Chelsea. I think he was linked to Brighton as well at one point in the summer. Very explosive, very dangerous attacker. Someone that on his day could rip apart a team for fun. Very good player. Not saying that he doesn't have his day very often or anything. Very good player. And like I said, him, Bowen, and obviously their main guy, Paqueta, who obviously nearly joined, maybe not nearly, but was potentially tipped to join City in the summer. I mean, I think there was a £75 million bid or something like that. Maybe that might be revisited, I don't know. But, really good player. Obviously, been linked to Spurs multiple times over the years. Very good player, very, very good player. But defensively, they're very solid. They are very solid. They don't blow you away defensively in terms of, like, there's no physical freaks. There's no like, give me an example. There's no, like, a Trent where it's just like, I'm gonna bomb balls into the box. I'm really good linking up plays. It's not like that as such. But they know their jobs and they do it very well. That's the key thing. When we look over to Spurs, obviously we know our injury issues. We know, Van der Ven's still injured. We know Madison's still injured. We know Richarlison's not that fit, but he's just come back. Perisic's still injured. Solomon's still injured. Session's still injured. Whiteman's, I think, generally just come back to training. There's a lot that we're missing. Obviously, we'll sort of see probably today a bit more about Pape Matar and if he's fit enough to even feature, let alone start. I don't think he starts regardless anyway. But obviously, the main man is back. Oh, God, I'm so happy. Cristiano Romero is back, and we do need him. West Ham are a pretty big physical team. It'd be nice to have a centre-half who's a good centre-half on the pitch to try and battle that. So when we look at the Spurs team for today, not today, sorry, tomorrow. I keep thinking it's game day. Tomorrow, my guess would be obviously, shockingly, Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro at right back. Your back three alongside him will be from right to left. It'll be Romero, Davies and Udogie, which it's not a bad one. With the injuries considered, with Van der Ven, it's not the end of the world. It's not, and Phillips, by the way, it's not the best scenario, but it's not the worst scenario. Romero's back. That's something we've got to hold on to. And I'm actually, you can tell I'm a little bit happy. I'm a little bit giddy. The midfield three, I think you'll have Basuma, I think you'll have Højbjerg, and I think you'll have Lo Celso. I just think when Højbjerg came in, we looked a bit more balanced. I think when we had Kulusevski and Lo Celso, it just, the balance wasn't as much there. It had moments. I'm not saying it didn't. I just think you could tell the second half to first half, we were a different team. We looked more like an Ange team in the second half than we did the first half. When Lo Celso put further forward, Højbjerg came in to control the midfield, and obviously Kulu went out right. And which, by the way, with a midfield three of Souček, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez, I do want to try and control the midfield. The more we control that, the less we're going to give to their front three. All right? And then, the front three, I think, from left to right, Johnson, I think it'll be Sonny, I think it'll be Kulu. Johnson at Kufal, something we probably should look at. Kufal's not the quickest of fullbacks. Emerson, you probably could get out a little bit. If Kulu's on his day, you could get at him a little bit. The back two, Aguerd and Zuma, are really solid. So Son might be up for a bit of a physical fight, but Son likes to go against West Ham, so you never know on that front. But let's be honest, the back line's going to be interesting. You're gonna, when you look at Paqueta and Kudus and Bowen, who probably all interchange. It's not something that they're all locked into their positions. Udogie and Porro, if you can lock out two of them, then you look at Basuma, you look at Davies, and you look at Romero to kind of say, he's the only one left, sort him out. And I also think Basuma will play better with Romero behind him. I do, and I think there's been a lot of, should we drop Basuma? And I don't think we should, by the way. We've stuck with players who have been, in the past, by the way, we've stuck with players who have performed worse for even longer and said they deserve to still be in the squad of the team. I don't think we should be dropping Basuma after a handful of maybe not as highly performed games as he'd had at the start of the season. I think he'll be better with Romero behind him. I do. I think you can look behind you and you can see him and you go, okay, I've got someone behind me that I have to panic about defending all the time. So my prediction for the game, I think 2-1. I think 2-1 Spurs. I do think it'll be one of those that we go 1-0, we go 1-0, and then Spurs score in the second half, maybe sort of 65th, 70th minute, something like that. I think if I was going for a goal scorer situation, I would go. Got something about Pierre Højbjerg that screams to me that he's getting a goal. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Lo Celso rub-off effect that, Lo Celso's got some goals. Maybe it's Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg, I think Johnson. I think Johnson gets a goal, maybe a running behind of Kufal. Who scores first, I don't know. But yeah, I think 2-1. And it'll be a solid situation. Get that to winning ways. Every single week we're starting to get that a little bit healthier. And Lord, is it needed? And, it's nice to see Richarlison coming back. Romero's back now. Papamassars, should be there or thereabouts. Session's starting to join a little bit more training, supposedly entering his final parts of his rehab process, of his injury rehab process, not the other rehab. Solomon hopefully should be back maybe in about a month's time. Everything's starting to speed up, and then we're starting to get a bit of the squad back that we had at the start of the season. Well, we were beating everyone. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings about the game, your key battles, just your general gist, and if you're feeling confident ahead of it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.